A storm is coming to Heartland, not just the one that sweeps across the wide open sky, but the one that lives in the hearts of its people. Amy Fleming stands at the center of it all, her strength tested, her future uncertain. And when Sam steps back into the picture, nothing will ever be the same again. Season 19 opens with a choice, a confrontation, and a spark that could ignite everything. The screen opens with the sight of horses galloping across a sunlit field. Their hooves thunder against the earth, echoing the pulse of Heartland itself. The ranch looks peaceful from the outside, rolling hills, wooden fences, and the quiet hum of morning. But inside, change is stirring. Amy walks through the familiar barn doors, the scent of hay and leather filling the air, the sound of the horses greeting her with soft whinnies. This is her sanctuary, the place that has carried her through loss and healing. But today it feels different. Today, there is a weight she cannot shake. The narrator's voice deepens. Heartland has always been about family, about second chances, about the bond between humans and horses. But even the strongest bonds are tested. And this season, the first test begins with Amy. We see Amy moving with quiet focus, her hand brushing against a horse's mane, her eyes distant as if searching for answers in the stillness. Memories of the past flicker in her mind, the struggles she has faced, the people she has lost, and the promises she has made to herself and her family. She is stronger now, but strength often comes with scars. And when she looks across the ranch, her gaze falls on something, or rather someone unexpected. Sam, his presence is a shadow against the bright morning. Once a trusted ally, once someone who had a place here, now a reminder of unfinished conversations and unspoken truths. He stands near the corral, watching quietly, as though waiting for Amy to notice him. And she does. The air thickens. The familiar peace of the ranch feels disrupted. Horses shift uneasily, sensing the tension. Amy takes a breath, steadying herself. But her heart races. This is not just another day at Heartland. This is the beginning of something larger. Something that will demand courage, honesty, and choices that cannot be undone. The narrator builds the tension. In the very first episode of season 19, Amy must face not only her future but the ghosts of her past. And Sam is the key to both. Clips flash across the screen, Amy training a restless horse, her daughter watching from a distance, Lou and Jack exchanging worried looks. The family feels the shift, even if they cannot name it yet. Everyone knows that when Amy carries a burden, the entire ranch feels it too. As Amy finally steps closer to Sam, the music swells. No words are exchanged, but their eyes say everything. Years of trust, of broken expectations, of choices made in silence. The tension is undeniable. The screen cuts to black, and the narrator whispers, "The journey begins here." The screen fades in with the sound of wind brushing over the open fields. The sky above Heartland is painted with shades of gold and gray, the kind of morning that hints at change. Amy stands alone by the paddock, leaning against the wooden rails, her eyes locked on the horizon. She is not speaking, but her silence says everything. A storm brews inside her. The narrator's voice cuts through. Sometimes the loudest battles are fought in silence. Amy knows this better than anyone. For years, Amy has been the heart of Heartland, the healer, the guide, the one who finds a way when others cannot. She has tamed horses others called broken, and in the process, healed parts of herself that she thought were lost forever. But now, the challenge before her is not a horse, not a trail, not the weather. It is her own heart. We see her walking through the barn, her footsteps slow, her hands trailing across the worn wood of the stalls. Each horse she passes seems to mirror her mood, restless, unsettled, yet loyal. She whispers softly to them, words we cannot hear, but we feel their weight. Her bond with these animals is unshakable, but even they cannot answer the question that lingers in her chest. Then, the camera shifts. A flash of Sam near the training ring. His presence, quiet but strong, hangs over Amy like a shadow she cannot escape. Once, his friendship brought comfort. Now, it brings confusion. Was his return to Heartland a second chance or a new threat to the peace she has fought so hard to protect? The narration grows heavier. When trust is shaken, when old wounds reopen, Even the strongest must find a new way forward. Clips unfold. Amy standing face to face with Sam, their expressions tense. A horse rearing up, the dust rising in the ring. Jack watching from the porch, a frown carved deep into his face. Lou pacing, her phone in hand, glancing toward Amy as if she knows something is wrong. Each moment builds the feeling that something bigger is on the verge of breaking open. Amy's eyes reveal what she cannot say aloud. She's torn between duty and desire, between what the ranch needs and what her heart whispers in the quiet moments. Heartland has always been about family, but Amy knows that family is not only about love, it is about choices. Choices that demand sacrifice. A single shot lingers. Amy sitting in the loft, late at night, her daughter asleep beside her. The glow of a lamp casts long shadows across the room. She brushes a strand of hair from her child's forehead, her face softening, but when she looks away, her strength falters. For a moment, we see the weight she carries, the loneliness, the responsibility, and the fear of what tomorrow might bring. The narrator's voice grows almost whisper-like, drawing the audience closer. This season, Amy will discover that the hardest battles are not with the world outside, but with the doubts within herself. Music swells, slow and haunting, as the screen shifts between wide shots of the ranch and close-ups of Amy's eyes. Every frame is heavy with emotion, a reminder that Heartland is not just a place, it is a test of spirit. The section ends with a sharp cut, Amy turning her back on Sam, walking into the barn as the doors slam shut behind her. Darkness swallows the frame. The final line echoes. The storm has only begun. The screen jolts awake with the sound of hooves pounding against the dirt. A horse charges across the corral, dust rising in the air, the sky above turning darker, almost as if it senses the storm inside the ranch. Amy stands firm in the training ring, her eyes narrowed, her voice calm but commanding as she guides the horse back under control. Her strength is undeniable, but she is not alone. Just beyond the rails, Sam watches. His arms are crossed, his jaw tight, his presence unshakable. The narrator's voice cuts through the tension. At Heartland, trust has always been earned. But when old loyalties collide with new truths, even the strongest bonds may crack. Amy finally turns toward him. Their eyes lock, and the silence between them is louder than any words. Sam steps closer, his shadow stretching across the ground. He is not here for small talk. He has come with questions, with challenges, with a truth that cannot be hidden anymore. And Amy knows it. Clips flash like lightning. Amy slamming the barn door shut. Sam pacing across the ranch yard, frustration written all over his face. Lou and Jack exchanging a worried glance, as though they already feel the storm building between them. Every cut is sharper, every second heavier. The narrator leans in. What happens when the one who once stood beside you becomes the one standing in your way? Amy's voice, faint but resolute, slips into the trailer for the first time. This ranch doesn't need more battles, Sam. It needs peace. Her words hang in the air, heavy with meaning. Sam's response is only a look, but it says everything. His loyalty to Heartland is real, his bond to the land undeniable, but his vision of the future clashes with Amy's. 2 paths, 1 ranch, and only one choice. The music builds, low strings rising, drums echoing like distant thunder. A montage follows. Amy walking away from Sam, her shoulders tense. Sam gripping the fence so tightly his knuckles turn white. Horses rearing, unsettled by the energy that fills the air. Jack slamming his hat down, muttering words the audience cannot hear. And then, the breaking point. Amy and Sam face each other. In the barn, the air thick with unspoken history. The camera lingers on their eyes, the space between them electric, almost unbearable. They are not enemies, but they are not allies either. What began as trust has shifted into something more dangerous, something that could tear them apart. The narrator's voice sharpens. In Season 19, Episode 1, the first confrontation is not about land, not about horses, not even about family. It is about truth, and the truth will not stay buried. The scene cuts to black, silence taking over. For a heartbeat, nothing moves, nothing breathes. Then, A single sound breaks through the sharp slam of a gate locking shut. The message is clear. The clash has only begun. And neither Amy nor Sam will leave unchanged. Dark clouds sweep over the Heartland sky. The ranch, usually glowing under golden sunlight, is now cast in heavy shadows. The music grows tense, building slowly, like the calm before a thunderclap. Horses shift nervously in their stalls, their ears flicking, their eyes wide as if they too can sense that something is about to break. The narrator's voice rises, low and urgent. Every season begins with a choice. But this time, the choice may change everything. Quick cuts flash across the screen. Amy's boots pounding against the dirt, his face etched with worry. His eyes fixed on the barn as though he knows the fight inside is bigger than any storm outside. Then, silence. A single frame lingers, Amy standing in the rain, her hair plastered against her face, her eyes glistening, but unbroken. The world may push against her, but she stands tall. The narrator deepens. This is not just another season at Heartland. This is a beginning, a test of family, of loyalty, of love, and of the strength to face the truth. The montage turns faster, sharper, more dramatic. A horse breaking free from the corral, galloping wild into the open fields. Amy and Sam standing inches apart, their words unheard, but their faces burning with emotion. Lou on the phone, her voice trembling as she turns away from the camera. A storm tearing across the ranch, rain pelting the wooden fences, lightning illuminating the sky. The music swells to its highest point, then cuts to near silence. Only Amy's voice breaks through, steady and defiant. If this is where it begins, then I won't back down. Black screen. The title card slams into view. Heartland Season 19. Episode 1. The narrator's final line echoes like thunder. The beginning of a new story. The start of a storm. And nothing will ever be the same again. The screen fades, leaving only the faint sound of horses in the distance. Before the closing words appear, don't miss it. The screen flickers back to life with the sound of rain dripping against the tin roof of the barn. The storm has passed, but the silence it leaves behind is heavier than thunder. Amy walks through the dim barn, lantern light casting long shadows across the stalls. Each creak of the wooden floor echoes. Each breath she takes sounds too loud, as if the whole ranch is holding its breath with her. The narrator's voice lowers to a whisper. When a storm ends, it doesn't leave peace. It leaves questions. A series of sharp flashes fill the screen. Amy's hands trembling as she grips the reins of a restless horse. Sam standing alone near the fence line, his silhouette framed against a fading sky. Lou scribbling furiously into a notebook, stopping only to wipe away a tear. Jack staring into the distance, his lips moving in prayer or warning. We cannot tell which. The music creeps back in slow, steady, like a heartbeat. The suspense doesn't end. It only deepens. The narrator continues. Every look, every word, every silence will carry weight in what's to come. And in Season 19, Episode 1, every decision will matter. The screen cuts to Amy in the loft, sitting at her desk. Her daughter sleeps soundly in the background, unaware of the battles her mother faces. Amy writes in a notebook, her handwriting shaky. She pauses, looks out the window at the ranch below, then closes the book with finality. The sound is sharp, like a closing chapter, but also like the start of another. Then, without warning, the trailer erupts into one last quick montage. Horses galloping wild under the moonlight. Amy shouting something in the middle of the corral, her voice drowned by music. Sam slamming his fist against the fence. Lou dropping the phone as her face twists with shock. Jack riding out into the night, rain pouring down, his figure vanishing into darkness, and then, silence again. The narrator delivers the final blow. The first step has been taken. The storm has begun. And what comes next will test every heart at Heartland. The screen fades to black. The last words appear in bold, glowing letters. Heartland Season 19. A new beginning, a new battle, a new truth. The faint sound of a horse neighing echoes as the video ends, leaving the audience hanging in silence. The screen opens to stillness. Dawn breaks over Heartland, soft pink and orange painting the horizon. The storm is gone, the night has ended, but the ranch doesn't feel calm. It feels changed. Birds take flight from the trees, horses graze quietly in the pasture, yet there is an uneasiness in the air, like the ranch itself knows what lies ahead. The narrator's voice drifts in, calm but layered with tension. Storms leave scars, and scars tell stories. A slow montage begins. Amy walking across the field, her face unreadable, her boots leaving deep imprints in the wet earth. Sam saddling a horse at dawn, his eyes locked on the horizon, his silence heavier than words. Lou sitting at the kitchen table, staring at a letter she cannot bring herself to open. Jack leaning against the porch rail, whispering to himself, "Something's coming." The music is faint, like a heartbeat, steady, building, growing louder. Then, the narrator continues. Season 19 does not begin with answers. It begins with questions. Questions that cut deep. Questions that demand the truth. The screen shifts to quicker flashes. Amy's hand shaking as she reaches for a door handle. Sam turning sharply as if someone has just spoken his name. A horse breaking free from its tether, galloping wild across the yard. Lou clutching her phone, tears brimming in her eyes. Everything speeds up, but just before it reaches chaos, silence. A single shot lingers. Amy standing in the barn doorway, her figure backlit by morning light, her face shadowed. She whispers, barely audible, "This is only the beginning." The words echo as the music swells one last time, dramatic and unrelenting. A final montage hits like lightning. A door slamming shut. Jack shouting Amy's name. Sam riding hard across the fields, urgency in every move. Amy's daughter calling out faintly in the background. A storm cloud rolling back across the horizon. Darker than before, the narrator delivers the final chilling line. Tomorrow holds the answers, but today begins the fight. The screen cuts to black. The last words appear in bold, stark letters. Heartland Season 19. Episode 1. The beginning has begun. The sound of a single horse neighing echoes into silence before fading out. The screen crackles with thunder. The sky above Heartland turns nearly black, storm clouds churning like restless waves. The wind howls, rattling the fences as though the ranch itself is bracing for what's about to come. The narrator's voice enters, sharper than before, almost urgent. Every story reaches a moment where silence shatters, and choices must be made. A violent montage explodes across the screen, a horse breaking through a gate, hooves pounding in panic. Amy shouting something into the storm, her voice drowned but her fury unmistakable. Sam throwing open the barn doors, rain pouring in. Around him, Lou dropping a lantern, the glass shattering across the ground. Jack racing through the mud, his hat torn away by the wind. The music surges fast, relentless, like a drum line in battle. Then sudden silence. One long shot lingers. Amy and Sam, standing face to face in the downpour. They are soaked, their expressions carved with determination and anger. Neither speaks. The only sound is the storm. For a moment, it feels like the entire world is waiting for one of them to break. The narrator returns, voice low, cutting deep. At Heartland, the beginning is not gentle. It is fierce. It is raw. It is the truth no one can escape. Another rapid-fire montage slams into view. Lou screaming Amy's name from the porch. A horse collapsing in the mud, Amy rushing to its side. Sam slamming his fist against the fence, lightning flashing behind him. Jack pulling Amy away from something unseen, his face etched with fear. A door creaking open into complete darkness. The screen fades to black. The music cuts out. Then, one final whisper, Amy's voice, trembling but resolute. "If this is where it